And salutations, Serjavians. It is Serjay Svek back with another stream, or shall I say, I am DJ Serjay. Serjay. Good to have you here again, and it is Friday, November 4, 2022, 7:02 a.m. Yet another impromptu guerrilla just chatting stream. Yes, that's a big mouthful, but I assure you, there ain't nothing big about what we're going to be talking about today. And welcome everybody, and good to have you here again. Once again, it is Friday morning in the Philippines, and I hope that everybody who needs to go to work is getting ready to go, because it's almost rush hour. And holy cow, there's a lot of things that we need to avoid on rush hour. Trying not to get caught in traffic jams, trying not to get late to work or to school. But if you are listening to me on your way, well, thank you very much for making me a part of your day. And hopefully I'll be able to lighten the load a little bit. Because you know what they say, it's not... having friends along the ride is not going to make the ride a lot shorter. But it's going to make the ride a little bit more tolerable. And I hope that everybody is doing well. For me, I actually just ended my work and I am just winding down. I don't have gym again today, so I am just going to be chilling a bit. Maybe after this, I'm just going to go on the stationary bike and maybe just do a few laps and such. I'm still a bit sore, but I'm trying not to go overboard, because tomorrow I'm going to be going back to the gym, and who knows what I have prepared for me on the menu once again. And I hope that everybody is excited for the end of the year, because actually, if you think about it, we have a brand new convention coming very soon to SM Mall of Asia's SMX. And for those of you who don't know, we recently just had a new convention coming in. One of the biggest that I've actually seen based on the social media posts. We had ESGS just happening very recently. And ESGS is a mouthful. Let me go ahead and do a very quick Facebook search about that. There, Electronic Sports and Gaming Summit. Wow. And it only happened just over the weekend, and despite the heavy storm from Typhoon Paeng, it still went through, and a lot of people seem to be having a lot of fun, which is great news for them. And I'm very happy to hear about that. And well, it's good that to be able to have a lot of people being able to join, and finally, especially after almost 2 years, I don't even know if there were any cons or conventions that happened in the past 2 years because of the pandemic. But now that we had ESGS, people were just coming in full force. Unbelievable. You know, just being able to see all of those people taking pictures, enjoying their games, their cosplay, all of those things, it just brings a smile to my face and warmth into my heart. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to join, and I wasn't able to go to ESGS because I had to prioritize work. I had a bunch of things that I needed to do, and well, you can't just really drop off of work and do something that you want, because you know you have to do what you gotta do. But I also did hear stories though, because again, there was a storm that happened over the weekend, especially during ESGS, and when that happened, a lot of people were having a ton of difficulty trying to get home. And I've read some stories on Twitter actually of people getting stranded, not being able to get home immediately, and even if they get home, they have to deal with the floods, they have to deal with no electricity. It's heartbreaking, really, having to deal with all of that. But eventually, storms die down, people are able to get home, power gets restored, and we're able to move on. And some people are already planning their next big gig at Cosplay Matsuri or Cosmatsu. Well, for me, it's going to be my first time in another big con ever since the pandemic began. And I'm going to be saying, holy cow. I actually did find out about when Cosplay Matsuri is going to be starting. So that's going to be December 28 to 30. That will be Wednesday to Friday. and Saturday will be New Year. And can you imagine that? It's already November, the start of November, and it's gonna be the end of the month so soon. Or the end of the year, rather. Can you believe it? 2022 is almost going to be over. And then we're going to be moving on to a brand new year. So many new things. So many exciting new things are happening. Who knows what the new year has in store. But for me, especially since we're drawing the year to the close, I do not want to end the year without having gone to a con, at least for one day. And that's where Cosmatsu comes in. And as soon as I figured out that there would be another con coming in September, and not only that, but also that I had enough leaves to accommodate that, I knew what I had to do. So I made sure to reschedule all of the remaining leaves that I had, and then go over there and get to work, and then... Holy cow. And then finally did it. I committed my leaves, and now we're going to Cosmatsu, baby. Just thinking about it is actually, making me wonder, so what do I actually do in Cosmatsu? But the only thing that I could think about is that I definitely want to cosplay as myself. I've only done cosplay once or twice in my life, and I have a great number of respect for the people who choose to go out there and cosplay, because it's not easy. It can be costly for if you're trying to really get as similar as you can to the character that you're cosplaying, and I get it's not everybody's cup of tea. But being able to actually go there and finally being able to be your character for just that brief moment, and having the crowd acknowledge you for portraying your character really well, that's something. That's something I think that nothing else would be able to replicate for you. And that's something really special. Now, in my case though, I neither have the funds nor the dedication to be able to actually cosplay as someone else, really. Someone really like another character. I can only do me. And well, that's just how the game is being played. And what I'm playing, and that's the reason really why my avatar was designed like this, because all of the clothes that my character has is pretty much what I have already at home. So I guess it's sort of cheating that I have a very simplistic design, but I guess it's also good in a way because we don't really have to be very elaborate, we don't have to deck my character out in so many different layers and details. Let's just keep it simple. And nothing simpler than a red shirt, some pants, and a Russian Ushanka hat, some fingerless gloves, headset, and the jacket. Now, the only thing that's missing from my potential cosplay look is the jacket itself. Jackets, no problem. But the only thing that I'm actually missing is a rainbow colored jacket. And I need to find one in time for Cosmatsu. I've actually asked around on Twitter and social media where I could find a place that can do custom-made jackets or jacket designs. And the only thing that I can see here is that it's best to go check out Divi or Divisoria, which is a really, really popular, and when I say popular, it's like a ton of people visit Divisoria to be able to actually do their shopping. And now that we're heading over into the proper holiday season, now that Halloween is over, the Philippines is beginning to return to the Christmas season that was put into temporary pause with Halloween. And now And since it's November, people are definitely going to be rushing in there and trying to get as much of their Christmas shopping done as possible, especially since a number of the people in the Philippines have 13th month pay. And 13th month pay, as the name implies, means that you get an extra month of pay with your salary. And that's going to help definitely for those people get their Christmas shopping done. And usually that happens in like November. And I hope long before the crowds start coming in to Divisoria that we'll be able to find someone who is willing and is able to deliver this rainbow jacket of mine. And then I'll finally be able to cosplay, and who knows? I think one of the things that really motivated me to actually want to do cosplay was the fact that I want to meet the VTubers, the Philippine VTubers. The last month of October has been very, very kind to me, and I could not be any happier to be welcomed to the Philippine VTuber community. So many wonderful people, so many things that, have just happened. It was just a whirlwind of a month. And I'm really grateful that people were around and very, very welcoming to me, especially since I was pretty much new and I didn't even know what to do. But I'm thankful that people were able to give me a chance. And I also saw on ESGS last weekend, a ton of people were taking pictures, sharing their experiences, making it a lot easier to, be a part of the community. And, well, I want to go ahead and experience that for myself. I will admit that some part of me was jealous because I wasn't there and I wasn't part of the ESGS experience. But, there's always a second chance. There's always a time to make things right. And so if anyone is watching the VOD, I'll see you in Cosmatsu. I don't know if I'm going to be there for all 3 days in Cosmatsu, but I'll try to be there as long as I can. Yeah, it's really, really different now going to a con, especially after I haven't been to one in more than 2 years, actually. The last big convention that I went to in SMX was Asia Pop Comic Con in 2017. So can you believe that? It's been 5 years since I actually went to a big con. APCC 2017. Can you believe the memories of that one? It was a lot of fun. I do miss seeing actually the tournaments of Overwatch 1, and then there were food, there was an artist's alley, and then one of the things that I really enjoyed was the PWR wrestling ring. So for those of you who don't know, the Philippines is a very big fan of wrestling. I grew up as a big wrestling fan back in the day of the WWE. But if you did not know, we actually did have our own wrestling promotions back in the day, back in the 80s and extending over to the 90s as well. And we also had one that's called Philippine Wrestling Revolution, or PWR. And Asia Pop Comic Con was my very first experience, actually seeing Philippine wrestling live and in action. And it was fun. Some part of me, when I watched that show, it made me feel like I was a kid again. I was a kid watching my favorite WWE wrestlers going out there and doing some fun. And I just, I was calling out moves, I was shouting, I was trying to do all of the hype. It made me realize that one of the best things I love to do is really just to be an announcer and a commentator. Because I really want to bring people to hype, because when people were watching the show, sure, they were involved, but they were a bit quiet, And I do not like being in an event and people are quiet, unless it's theater. or a movie. But if it's something like wrestling, if it's something like a video game tournament, people need to make noise. People need to be hyped. And if no one's gonna go ahead and bring the hype, then I'm gonna raise my voice and do it. And by the end of the wrestling show, I lost my voice. But it was so worth it. It's just sad though that PWR is no longer around. I just saw on their Facebook recently, like even just this week, that their promotion already folded and it's no longer there. And that's a sad thing. A sad day for Philippine wrestling. But it's not sad to have you around, Ren. Thank you very much for dropping by and for being part of the stream. Good to have you here. Hope you had a good Friday morning and hope you'll be able to... I don't know if you're already at work, but if you aren't, hopefully you'll be able to have a good trip and stay safe as well. Well, your voice is good enough for commentary. I'm happy already to support. Why, thank you, Ren. Good to have you always and have your support as well. And yeah, this is, again, just another impromptu talking stream. I don't have my coach with me in the gym because Fridays we usually do not have exercise, or we do not have to go to the gym. Well, I could have wanted to go to the gym today, but I think just for today, I'll just go on the stationary bike, do something. Because by tomorrow, we're gonna be hitting the heavy iron once again. I don't know what's gonna be planned for tomorrow, but some part of me is scared, but a big part of me is excited. I guess it's the endorphins talking, because no matter how the pain, that's the funny part. Despite all of the pain, it was fun. It was fun. Exercising is fun. And I cannot believe that I'm actually saying that, you know? I'm at work and Noori's there to listen while working. Well, you better go ahead and put me on speaker and turn it up, bro. We need more people to know about Serjay Svek. DJ Serjay talking early in the morning. Okay, so where was I? What was my train of thought that I was talking about just now? Oh yeah, well, whatever I was talking about, I was just mentioning the fact that I'm planning to go to Cosplay Matsuri this December 28 to 30. And it's gonna be my first big con in the ever since the pandemic began. And the last big con that I went to was Asia Pop Comic Con 2017. So it's been 5 years since my last big one, and I am nervous, I'm scared, but I do want to have to go through the experience because I want to see what con life is like. Not only that, but also to finally meet all of the Philippine VTuber community. I want to become part of that and to actually see, because I was really envious of all the people who were able to go to ESGS last weekend and then see how all of them were able to meet each other, greet each other, and spend time together. You know, and if you know me, Ren, a part of me is naturally jealous. I see someone having fun, I see them, doing stuff, and I say to myself, I want to be part of that. I want to get that. So yes, that's the thing that I really, really want to do. And I want to be able to enjoy that as well, especially with all of these people. And feel free to let me know without you having to share too much if you're a bit concerned about it. But are you around here in Metro Manila by December 28 to 30? Because if you are, then maybe we can go ahead and grab some tickets to Cos Matsuri. But I really need to actually figure out when the tickets will be available so I can actually buy. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make... not really if I don't know if I am going to. More like if I am willing to go all 3 days. You know what I mean? You know, this old boy is not as spry as he used to be, and I am not sure if have the energy to go for all 3 days. Goodness gracious! But if I do, if I have to, I will, and I think it'll be really, really good to actually give it a try. I really do want to go ahead and try making sure that jacket, this rainbow jacket of mine, is ready, so I can actually cosplay as myself. And who knows, Ren, maybe you can go ahead and cosplay as well, just like old times. Somji, morning! Somji! Welcome to the early mornings with DJ Serjay. DJ Serjay. Welcome, and good to have you here on the stream, and I hope that you are doing well on this Friday morning, at least here in the Philippines. Good to have you back, and good to have you here. And hope you're doing well. If you're winding down, I hope you have a good rest, and if you're going to work or to school, that you go ahead and stay safe and take care along the way. Damn, your voice talaga. Thank you. I really appreciate it very much. I think what gave me the courage to actually try to do more just chatting streams is because I want to try to get out of my comfort zone. If you've seen some of my streams before or my VODs, I use the game as like a tool for me to go ahead and talk. And I'm very good at public speaking. I can give a speech. I can host an event, no problem. I can commentate tournaments if I need to. But if you want me to sit here for 2 or 3 hours and just talk on stream, I find it very difficult. And that's the weird thing, isn't it? A lot of people are more afraid of speaking in public, but I am more afraid of sitting here in my room all alone and just talking for 3 hours or 2 hours even. But you know, this is a challenge, and I want to challenge myself, and this is like the closest thing that I can do to like do radio. And people used to say that I have a voice for radio, but I don't think I can really do radio. You know, I don't know any of the new music. You know, my music taste is stuck on video game music and music that died in 2009, pretty much. Oh, by the way, of course, you're very welcome for the shout out. I'm glad that you decided to drop by. Actually, I was thinking about a podcast over there with Ren, since you mentioned organizing events and such. We would, you know, think about making a podcast and maybe talk about stuff, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes, because I want my audience, I want the Serjavians to be more comfortable with the fact that I can do just chatting streams. I've got quite a few people in the Philippine VTuber community who are my inspirations when it comes to just chatting streams. One of them being Nyx PNG Tuber. She is amazing because she's able to do 6-hour just chatting streams every single day. And just seeing that dedication, all of that work, it just, you know, just blows my mind. And I want to be able to try that. But the question is, what would we talk about though on the podcast? The thing is, me and my friends, me, Ren, and Milas, we're not the best at staying at one topic. I think Ren can vouch for that. Ren says, I think it's a matter of adjusting to your setup and just talking to your camera or to something that can help you feel like you're chatting or so. And I think that's true. If there's one thing that I like about my setup, it's that I'm proud of going back to the boom mic. For the past few streams, I actually had my mic. I bought a brand new Maono mic and I put it on my table. Because the thing about the boom mic is that if I get really excited in games, I tend to like move my arms and I hit my mic. And that sometimes causes problems with the sound. And so I decided, oh, just put the microphone on a table. It should be okay. But the problem I realize is that I have to stay so close to the mic, and the mic is right in front of the monitor, and so my eyes, tear up because, well, it hurts after a while. You know what I mean? It becomes really, really painful. But now, and I really, really hated how I sounded on stream these past few streams when I had the microphone on. But now that I brought back the old boom mic, I really like how I sound now, especially with all of these filters. And I don't sound robotic or metallic. And that's the thing, I'm very strict with myself. I'm not sure if, for those of you who are new to my channel, I am super, super strict with myself. I want to do better all the time. I want to improve. I want to be perfect. And that's my problem. I always want to deliver the best content that I can. And even if I don't earn much from streaming, that's what makes me want to keep commissioning my artist, Milas, for this new logo here, this new background, this new overlay, because I want to deliver the best content. Because again, even if I may never make it too big in the VTuber community, I want to make videos that I can look back on years from now and say, yeah, I did my best at that time. Hala, don't be too hard on yourself. I'm trying, Somji. I'm trying, but thank you for the concern. It's something that I learned when I actually went to therapy. And the funny thing about my therapy is that it started in 2020, and I was supposed to have my first session with a psychiatrist, right? And then it happened, and then the pandemic happened right on the day of the lockdown rather, happened on the day before my scheduled appointment. So it was just, funny that I wasn't able to actually meet with my psychiatrist again after the very first introductory session. But we managed it. And one of the most important things that I learned, which I still admittedly struggle to apply, is that you are more in control than you think you are. If the voices start talking in your head, you have to let them know that you are the boss. And no matter how difficult the times are, and no matter how sad or how desperate you may feel, it's okay to feel like that. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry. Just let it happen, acknowledge it, and let it pass. You don't need to dwell on it. Just let it go. Just let it know that, yeah, you're there. I'm sad. I'm feeling bad, but let it go. Don't let it stay. Otherwise, you're gonna lose your hair, just like me. If you watch my Twitter channel, you notice that I shaved my head again. Because, well, sometimes you just gotta start practicing for the hair. I know. Yeah, I'll pause there. Ren says, I'm looking back on my vids and I kind of see how much I've grown and improved as well. So I'm happy to report to you that it's a good feeling to see your old self. That is true. And I am proud of how far I have progressed as a YouTuber, as a content creator, and as a streamer. And this past month alone in October has exemplified that, where we were able to not only make it affiliate, but we were able to double the number of followers I had on Twitch, and to actually double the followers I had on Twitter as well. If I looked at myself, if I told myself this 1 year ago, my past self would look at me right now and laugh. But I'm thankful that, I took the chance, because before September and October, I was thinking about giving up on streaming. I really wanted to focus more on work. I didn't have the motivation to go live. But one day I decided, you know what? Screw this. I'm feeling miserable just working. I don't have any hobbies. I really feel bad not being able to stream. Why don't I just go live and then take it from there? And then I found out that I had some emotes made by my artist Milas. So instead of using the webcam just like before, why don't I go ahead and become a VTuber or a PNG tuber? And then everything just clicked. And I found that I'm a lot more comfortable being a VTuber. It's really good. I'm really happy that I took the chance. And I'm thankful for all of the people that I met along the way. And of course, shout out to the Serjay as well. Thank you for being one of the people who accepted me as well in the VTuber community of the Philippines. So thank you, thank you. And since Serjay is here, I just also want to let you know that I am actually planning to go to Cosplay Matsuri this December. So it's my first big con of 2022 since 5 years ago. And well, I really hope that I'll be able to meet a number of the Philippine VTubers there. So who knows? We'll be able to maybe we'll be able to see each other and see all of the other people as well. Because admittedly, I was jealous because I really wanted to go to ESGS, but dang, I had to do work and I had to do a bunch of other things. Hey, happy to be hopefully one of your inspiration from PNG to VTuber as well. Yes, that's true, Ren. I know I used to tease Ren a lot, actually, because I kept saying, hey, Ren, when are you going to use a webcam? When are you going to use a webcam to show your face so people can actually, relate more to your facial expressions and how you feel? But then again, Ren inspired me instead. Surprisingly inspired me instead to become a PNG tuber. So look at how the tables have turned. Goodness gracious. This is just something, this past month of October. And who knows what's gonna happen in the next month, November is still very, very early. Who knows what's gonna happen? There's just so much that, to look forward to, and we still have December. There's just so much that's still left. People think that when we're nearing December that the year is so short. I mean, what we have left in the year is so short that there's no time left to do. Actually, if you think about it, there's still a lot of time left. At 60 days, those 60 days or a bit more, a ton of things can happen. A ton of things can happen. So it's not unreasonable for a ton of things to happen that you cannot imagine what will happen next. So we might as well just be ready for it and be open. My setup and my usual face in my room isn't that presentable, to be honest. That's fair. That's a fair enough thing. One of the reasons why I also wanted to become a VTuber or PNG tuber is because, well, my room has some things that I cannot fix overnight, unfortunately. So there's nothing I could do about that. It is what it is. And I just have to live with that, I guess. And not to mention the fact that, well, I think I look good. I like to think I look good. But the problem is that I found is that I don't really emote that much in real life. My face is not really that good when it comes to emoting, to sharing. I can be very flat-faced. And sometimes I exaggerate with hand gestures and a bunch of other things, but I'm unable to really go beyond that, you know what I'm saying? So Instead of like forcing myself to look presentable in front of a camera, why don't I just go ahead and get a VTuber model and then, you know, let that do the work for me? At least the expectation there is that, unlike if I was in a 3D VTuber model, I don't have to worry about, you know, gestures and facial expressions. It's just, it is what it is. Just accept it, you know? I really hope one of these days, Ren, that your model will become ready so we can finally have like a big collab together, all three of us, you, me, and Miles, and we'll be together on screen being able to move and such. That would be, I think, fantastic. I'm really looking forward to it. No pressure though, of course, but I'm really looking forward to be able to stand on the same ground as all of you. There's just so much that, you know, to look forward to. It's kind of scary, actually, you know. There are events, there are things to improve on, there's my gym tomorrow. There's just a lot to have to go through that sometimes it can be overwhelming, you know? And that's why I really, really, really need to go ahead and get back to writing in my diary. Because if there's one thing that I've learned over the years, is that if you just keep things in your head, you're gonna go insane, trust me. And the reason why I write things down is not just because I want to remember things. Funnily enough, the reason why I write down in my diary is because I want to forget. When you're able to put words down to paper, when you're able to try and capture emotions that you have been feeling and put them on paper, you're able to cleanse yourself of those feelings, of those memories, and then you forget. And then you can move on. Your heart is light, your head is free. You're finally able to move on. On the works, that is. So I assume you're talking about your model. Though I'm prioritizing something important on early December. After that, I'm down to continue with other projects. But I think you're already working with your artist, right, Ren? I think they're already like working on it, so they'll be able to get your model down, I assume, right? Again, I assume, sorry, I'm trying, I hope I'm not being too forceful, but it's just, you know, it's been a while since we've had this discussion, and I really am excited for seeing your new model, you know? Aside from Lizzie, aside from your purple squid, I really want to see you do your thing, you know, in PNG. I want to try journaling as well. I've heard that it's very therapeutic. It really is. It really is very therapeutic, you know? If you start writing in a journal or a diary, you begin to realize that there are things that you can really talk about, that you will not be judged. And that's the beauty of it, you know? If you, and I would like to credit Anne Frank for that, because she is my inspiration when it comes to writing in a diary all those years ago. Because, you know, paper does not judge. You can share your secrets with your friends, sure, but sometimes, you know, even your friends, your closest friends, can still judge you. And the safest way, though, to rid yourself of these feelings and of these thoughts is to commit them to paper, or to the screen if you want to. But the fact of the matter is that when you finally have it down, you no longer have to think about it. And I think that's part of the beauty of the whole thing, you know? You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. It's gone. Yup, and no worries. This is regarding the model. Everyone is busy lately and hoping my model is ready by then. I really hope so, Ren. I really hope so. It's long overdue, if I may say. It's long overdue for your model, and I really, really want to see you in action, bro. It would be so great. It's really good finally to be able to, you know, have another way to represent yourself or to express yourself without necessarily exposing yourself. You know, I don't know. I guess it doesn't really apply to me because for me, I'm comfortable showing my face. I guess you know, it's because it's I just want people to remind that behind Serjay Svek is me. It's Kevin, the one you're talking to. And I guess it's also a way for me to cope because that way it'll be a lot easier for people to recognize me if and when I go to Cosplay Matsuri this December. Nix, good to see you. Great to finally see you in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Hope you had a great stream, and thank you very much for dropping by. And by the way, just in case people don't know, Nix is actually the inspiration for why I want to do more just chatting streams. Amazing, amazing consistency, amazing work. So thank you, Nix. You might not realize it, but you've done a great thing in letting me be more open to trying just chatting streams. So yeah, going back to the topic, or what was the big topic, is that I really am planning to go to the first con that I want to visit in 5 years, Cosplay Matsuri. And going back to my earlier question, Ren, are you gonna be here in late December? Because if ever, we might as well go ahead and try and visit. And then maybe, and since it's gonna be an SMX, you know what that means, more IKEA, more meatballs, and more Mendokoro ramen. I know you want some. Good to be here. Good to be here. You know. Yeah. It's really good finally to be able to, be able to talk, without necessarily having to be constrained by, commenting on a game. Just talk and just let it out. Stream was great, Nick says. Oh, I hope you have a lovely experience with just chatting. Well, thank you very much for that, Nix. I appreciate it, and it's all the lovelier now that you are here, and I'm grateful for that. I don't think I can. I have the endurance to do just chatting streams as long as you do, though. But then again, we're just trying. We're dipping our toe in the water, and then we'll see if anything bites. And welcome to the Serjavia Nation. Welcome, Sugar Dad VA. Good to have you here. And I'm thankful for you dropping by. Good to see you. And I hope, and at least here in the Philippines, it is a beautiful Friday morning here in November 4, 2022. And welcome to Space Buns VT. Excuse me. Welcome. And sup, my dude? Everything is doing well. I'm actually doing this so I can wind down, and I'll be going to bed soon. But the plan is not to go to bed. I want to be able to still go on the exercise bike, because even though my coach at the gym is not here right now, is not available because it's his rest day, I'll go ahead and just, exercise, because I don't want to not exercise in more than 24 hours. But I hope that all of you are doing well, and again, thank you for making me a part of your day, and I'm grateful for all of that. Okay, so let's see. Sugar Dad VA is also doing just chatting too. Hey, good to see. I'll go ahead and check it out. And also, Space Buns, you're playing Tekken 7. That's good to know. Are you excited about Tekken 8, by the way? At least I can see it's really beautiful, but what I noticed from the trailer is that the camera is like really, really far away to like accommodate the more cinematic moves, you know what I mean? So I don't know how they're gonna deal with that. Let's see what the final game is like. I'm more excited for Street Fighter 6 because I love the music. Nick says, everything is a learning process, hun. Take your time getting familiar and learning what works best for you. Very sage advice. I love hearing that, and thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's, you know, I did not get to where I am right now without a lot of scuff. With a lot of learning process that I've had in 2 years. In all these 2 years that I've been online. And, you know, the experience that I have built up in these 2 years, I think it finally was able to pay off because, well, look at where we are now. Affiliate, 100 followers on Twitter, more than 100 followers on Twitter, and more than 200 followers on Twitter, and more than 100 followers on Twitch. If my past self from a year ago actually said that, or said that you were gonna be reaching those numbers, I would have laughed at my face. Because I had barely any time to stream last year because I was focusing on improving at work. But you know what? Streaming was always, well, it's not really always a dream. One of the dreams that I've had for a long time was to go on radio, to become a DJ. But the thing is, I am not caught up in modern radio music. Most of the music that I listen to is fighting game music because it's very simple, repetitive beats for 3 minutes. And you can pretty much, you know, do anything you want with that. And then just some lo-fi, some instrumentals, and maybe some rap from the 90s. You know, Tupac, Notorious B.I.G., and maybe some Lupe Fiasco. But the only reason why I listen to Lupe Fiasco is because one of his songs was used as an advertisement for Street Fighter 5. So there's like this weird intersection of video games and music. But yeah, don't come to me for music recommendations. Don't. I am not reliable when it comes to those things. It's good, but you know, we all have something different that we can bring to the table. Some are better at chatting, some are better at gaming, and I won't challenge you or your skills when it comes to those things. That's what makes you you, that's what makes you unique, that's what makes you special. And I'm grateful that, you know, we are finally able to come together and, you know, become part of this time, you know? I think I cannot imagine a better time to be around than this, especially this past month. So for those of you who did welcome me, especially into the VTuber community, since I only really started becoming a VTuber in September of this year, thank you. Thank you very much. This is weird. Oh yes, but thank you again for all of the support, and I really appreciate it. But I really hope that the next thing that I want to do is, so going back to the first topic that we had, is that I'm going to be visiting my very first Philippine convention in 5 years. And I'm hoping that someone will be able to prepare my jacket for in that time, because I already have the outfit down. I have a red shirt, I have the Russian Ushanka hat, I've got the big headphones. I'm probably gonna buy fingerless gloves, but those are easy to get. You can buy them in a department store, no problem. But the jacket is a whole other challenge, and I don't think they sell rainbow colored jackets off the shelf. So I have to go find someone who is actually able to craft a jacket for me and, you know, do the custom making, because wow. I never even had a jacket in my model before, but when I decided to become a VTuber, I realized that, you know what, my design looks pretty boring with just a red shirt on. I need something to stand out a bit. And you know, that's what made me want to go for the rainbow jacket, because, well, I already had splashes of color everywhere in my overlays and stuff. Why not incorporate it in my design as well, in my jacket? And I think it turned out great. because a bunch of people, when my design was revealed, they did like the jacket. So I want to go ahead and make the jacket available so when I walk in those doors at Cosplay Matsuri, people will know, oh, that's Serjay Svek. Yeah, I do want. I think I'm okay with people just spotting me and saying, oh, it's you. It's Serjay Svek. Yeah. Well, it's really, really exciting to be able to see what we have left on this year. Again, what I mentioned earlier is that November is just starting, and we still have the whole month of December ahead of us. You know, people may say that these last 60 or so days are very short, but I like to say that, you know what, a ton of things can happen in those days. So the best thing that we can do is to be open, to be receptive, and to be ready. And then whatever life chooses to throw at us, we'll be able to meet it head on. Don't forget to go ahead and drink your water. This hydration check was brought to you by DJ Serjay. DJ Serjay. It's just water. No coffee this time. I need to go to bed in a while. I already had enough of my Tim Hortons, of my black coffee. The people in the Tim Hortons near where I work, they probably already know what I order, you know? Because every time I visit, they know that, you're the guy that's always asking for vanilla cream cold brew. And I say, yep, that's me. Do you have any vanilla cream cold brew? No, sir. Always by the time that I arrive, they always run out of vanilla cream cold brew. It's just like that joke, you know, about how in McDonald's they always run out of the vending machine, the soda. I'm mixing up my words. The sundae machine is always conked out. It's always in need of repair. And because of that, they need to go ahead and fix it. Nobody's able to get sundaes. Nobody's able to get McFlurries. I don't know if that's like a strictly American thing, but here in the Philippines at least, we're lucky because we get to have sundaes and McFlurries a lot more often. I guess there's that demand because, well, it's a pretty hot country here. And I'll tell you what, it's November right now, but it still feels as hot as it does in the summer months. It's like we're still stuck in June. Really, really hot. Oh, people here in NA don't care. Ah, wow. I didn't expect that. I thought people would actually want to have sundaes and sundaes and McFlurries. People will drink iced coffee during the winter. You know what's funny is that the joke in the Philippines, rather, we are on the flip side. It's super hot outside, but we're still gonna drink hot coffee, no matter what. People don't really go for iced coffee unless you're like in one of those swanky Starbucks or Tim Hortons or whatever coffee shop you have. People will go for hot coffee early in the morning. Hot coffee and pandesal, which is like a small bread roll. And if you don't have like butter or anything like that, people will just break it off to pieces and dip it into their coffee to give it like a bit of a coffee flavored zing to it. You know what I mean? That's pretty much like a Philippine breakfast tradition. If they're not gonna have like bread and coffee, they're probably gonna have rice, fried garlic rice, and then some meat and eggs. And I don't know how you like your eggs, but whether you like it runny or well done, the eggs need to have very crispy brown edges. When I'm in a hotel buffet and they serve the eggs with that are like really soft bottoms, I'm like, yeah, what is this? What kind of eggs are these? Like, what are you trying to prove? It's gotta have crispy bottoms. Crispy browned bottoms. Space Bun says, I love puto and mango in the morning. Well, that's something really good. You know, in my part of the country, I love having ibos, which is like Ilonggo suman, which is a rice cake. A rice cake wrapped in banana leaves and then steamed. And then people would usually have it with like caramel sauce or brown sugar. They would just dip it in brown sugar. But one thing I would also like to do is that I would have it with mango. Sliced mango is awesome. People love Philippine mangoes based on the tourists that used to go here. Lovely, lovely. But I just want to warn everybody that we have a 3-minute ad break coming up. And if you want to go ahead and stick around, feel free to go ahead and use this time to get your drinks, get your snacks. We'll be extending a bit more. I just want to see, you know, how long I would be able to talk about this. But again, for those of you who are watching, I'd like to thank you for making me part of your day. If you need to go and you have obligations in the daytime, feel free to do so. But if you want to go ahead and stay, I would appreciate your patience, and we'll go ahead and get back to the show. You know, just talking about a bunch of random stuff, and hopefully you'll stick around, and then we'll have more to add to the conversation. So I hope you go ahead and do well, and I'll just sit tight, and we'll be talking to you again very soon. And salutations, Serjavians. Good to have you back. And if you stuck around, hope that you were able to get some drinks and some snacks while we go ahead and continue on with the show. And I just want to go ahead and give a quick run here because it looks like the ad is still in progress. I have no idea why the timer acts up like that, but it is what it is, you know? I already put it at 4 minutes, but it still goes faster than 3-minute ads for some reason. So I actually did a bit of testing with Ren. He pointed out that my mic was sounding off. And can you go ahead and check, Ren? How is it sounding about now, please? How is the mic sounding? Just going to go ahead and just give it a quick check, because again, you know, as much as I like the scuff, as much as I like to embrace the scuff, it really puts down your stream, trust me. You have no idea how many times I've had problems with my microphone that caused me to just lose it, you know? Oh, we're good. Oh, thank goodness gracious. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it's early morning in the Philippines, and I hope that everybody is doing well. If you're eating your breakfast, I hope you have a very filling one, and that if you're going to work or to school, feel free. Please make sure that you stay safe. And if you want to go ahead and keep on listening, then I appreciate you making me part of your day. Once I'm done with today, we'll see, you know, because I want to make these just chatting streams a bit more of a regular thing, because I have an urge to stream, you know. I would give up everything to be able to stream every day, but well, someone's got to pay the bills, unfortunately. And the fact of the matter is that I cannot leave my job. I want to be able to support my family still, but I want to make time for my hobbies as well. And Husk, good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, and good to have you here. For those of you who don't know, Ren is not the only inspiration for me to want to become a VTuber. Husk, Soulless Husk over here, is also one of them. He is the one that gave me the final push to become a VTuber. So if you want to go ahead and check out some awesome Dark Souls or Souls gameplay, why don't you go ahead and follow his channel? He's currently playing Dark Souls 2, I believe, and he's slowly making his way to go to Elden Ring, which is going to be like the end game for you, I think, Husk, right? And if you like skeletons, there's actually a very big skeleton VTuber community that I had no idea existed, and Husk is my introduction to that as well. Oh, Husk, thank you very much for continuing to your subscription from Sashimi. Thank you. I talked earlier about, you know, how in the past 2 years that I've been streaming that I've tried to improve a lot from how I started. Because for those of you who don't know, who were not there, if you check out my YouTube channel and you check out my very first videos, you will find that I did not have a capture card, I did not have a microphone, so the only thing that I did to be able to stream is that I used my cell phone, and then I just put it in front of my Nintendo Switch, and then I spoke into it. And because I started from Facebook Live, at the time, I don't know how, they only allowed vertical or portrait resolution. So my earliest streams, they look like TikToks. Goodness gracious, I don't know how people were able to tolerate that, but eventually I got a capture card, I got a so-so mic, and then this mic that I have is not even like a Blue or a Samsung. Capture card is decent, it gets the 720s done, no problem. And then, you know, we just build up slowly. And then over the 2 years, you know, we get to where we are now. And I'm really, really thankful that I was able to get to this point, that I did not give up on streaming. And one of the things that I love to do is that I actually love to record these voice lines, you know, as you can hear just earlier, we have our subscriber. And then for those of you who followed earlier, we have the ooh, new follower. So if any one of you who hasn't not yet followed me, go ahead and follow me, and then maybe you can hear the voice lines too. And if you are interested and you want to get and if you want to get access to my emotes, and if you want to get ad free viewing, feel free to go ahead and subscribe. Not required, but the door is always open. Husk can definitely show you what these emotes look like. Ren too. But anyway, yeah, let's just skip talking about that. We were talking. The main topic of today is cosplay, conventions, and stuff. I would like to visit huge conventions like San Diego Comic-Con one day. The closest thing that we had was Asia Pop Comic-Con in the Philippines. And it was okay. I enjoyed it. I loved, watching Philippine wrestling because, yes, Philippine wrestling is a thing. It existed way back in the 80s, and there was a revival with Philippine Wrestling Revolution, or PWR. They did some shows in those cons, and I loved bringing the hype and cheering as loud as I could. But unfortunately, with PWR at least, their promotion closed, just like maybe a few weeks ago. So it's a very sad day that I'm no longer able to watch those shows live anymore. And but there are some other promotions that are picking up the slack. So if ever I make it to Cosplay Matsuri, maybe I'll be able to see Philippine wrestling again. And who knows? Maybe you'll find out that I am there from all the screaming that I will do. Yeah, get him! 1, 2, 3! Yeah, you could tell I was a really big WWE fan back in the day. But WWE nowadays seems to be having a lot of things happening that's not very favorable. But now that Vince McMahon has stepped down, and then Triple H is now taking like more control of WWE, I think it's beginning to turn around a bit, It's not I don't know. I haven't watched WWE in years, but people are saying that it's stagnating in recent years. And that's why people are going to like AEW now, the new big rival company to WWE, because TNA Impact Wrestling is like long gone in terms of being viable, apparently. What, seeing your childhood, change, because wrestling was my childhood back in the day. Seeing how it has changed over the years, and it's no longer what it used to be, it really strikes a chord with me, I also went to my hometown recently, The last time I visited my hometown was 7 years ago. I always put it off because, well, I didn't know what to do, if I always went home. We sold our house there. I no longer get to have a place to call home there. So, where do I stay? Where do I go? And, well, but the fact of the matter is that when I went to my hometown just a few months ago, I saw that things have really changed a ton. It's no longer the sleepy little town that I grew up with, It's become a lot more urbanized. There's a lot more things happening there. And I did not realize, kid me would have been shocked at seeing all of these different changes happening. How everything is now hustling and bustling. Hotels are popping up, BPOs, businesses, everything. And it's been pretty much, been catching the national eye as well, especially with how they responded in the pandemic, But aside from that, things just change, is what I'm trying to say. And, as the old saying goes, things will change and we have to change with it. There's nothing much we can do, really. You have to move on. You have to change. You have to sometimes let go of the past. And the place that I grew up with is no longer there. Sure, my hometown still exists, but what I grew up with is now just a memory. And it's not so sad if you think about it, because, well, those memories, those things that you grew up with, they are now part of you. They are part of your experience, and no one else can replicate that. No one can take that away from you. And if ever you feel, sad that you're not able to experience what you once experienced, that's valid, Sometimes we want to go back to the things that used to make us happy, but they don't really make us happy anymore. Probably because it's not the same thing like what we used to have, or we ourselves have changed a lot. And, well, that's just how it is, As Ren and I used to say, it do be like that sometimes. But it's not always only sometimes. It's every time. Everything changes. If I will look back into this stream now in maybe a year, I would probably be in live 2D. Who knows? It's a pretty ambitious thing, but I don't know. Maybe one of these days we'll find like a nice happy medium and we'll have something to cling on to. Which brings me back to one of my earlier topics in this chat or in this stream, is that I really need to go back to writing in a diary. If you've been following my Twitter, you will know that I posted a picture recently about me having more than 18 volumes of notebooks at home in my room. And those were filled with nothing but memories over the past 10 years. I started writing a diary again in 2007, and it's been going on ever since. Actually, that's 15 years now, if I think about it. And each notebook has lasted a year or less. But this tiny notebook, volume number 19, has taken me 2 years to try and even write. I don't know, I just lost my motivation. It's kind of like how in last year in 2021, I was streaming erratically. I could not do much because I wanted to do my best at work. I wanted to give 150% at work. But unfortunately, it didn't give me the results that I wanted. So, sure, right now, in the next couple of weeks, I will be very busy again because I'll be involved in events at work again, really, really big events, important events, and I need to dress up and be involved. But I also want to make time to stream. I want to make time to write in my diary. I want to make time and to exercise. The only problem is that not all of us have the same 24 hours. Yeah, not all of us have the same 24 hours. As much as we would like to accomplish everything that we want to, not all of us have the means to. Some of us have to commute for hours just to get to and from work or school. Some of us have to take care of our children or our families. There's just a whole bunch of things that prevent us from living the lives that we want to have ideally. But, we just have to play with the cards that we get. And what I want to do is I'll just try to carve out whatever time that I can and try to make the best with what I got. I'm sorry if it went a bit deep there, especially so early in the morning. I don't know. It's just a part of me always seems to go in that direction. I unconsciously seem to want to sound deep and intellectual, even though I'm not. I wish I had the genuine wisdom that some of these other people have, but most of the time I'm just regurgitating the things that I learned from books, from TV, from movies. And sure, I sound intelligent, but I'm not smart. I don't have the practical wisdom that some of these other people have, and it always surprises me if people even think that they are learning from me. it reminds me of the days again when in one of my old jobs, because I used to have an educational job. I'm not a licensed teacher. I just tutored and stuff like that. And I found that I'm not really cut out for education, really. Because, if you think about it, you are entrusting yourself or your children to me or to whomever. And then you're expected to deliver results in a curriculum, for example. But sometimes the curriculum does not work for that particular child, The problem is that we try to standardize things when people are so different. We come from all different walks of life. We learn in different ways. And the frustrating thing about it is that, you're expected to learn in a standardized way. And that's also usually what frustrates me at work too, because sometimes if I am taught something new, I'm expected to learn this way, but I want to learn that way. But we're straying a bit too deep. We're straying a bit off. Let's just try to keep it light. It's early in the morning. I don't want to give people existential crises early in the morning, especially when they're trying to commute to work and they're wondering what the heck is happening here. What is this pseudo-philosophical nonsense that's being spouted so early in the morning, I guess that's just a natural consequence of me streaming so close to my personal bedtime, actually. Why am I getting an email that says new personal training? Coach is not supposed to be here today. We're supposed to have our next session tomorrow. I want you all to keep me in your thoughts tomorrow, because we're going to be going back to the gym, baby. We're going to be doing a lot more fitness. Oh, it's for November 2. That's fine. Oh boy, I almost had a panic attack because Coach has his own priorities, so we don't stream. We don't have sessions on Thursdays because that's the time I'm supposed to have my rest day. You're not supposed to exercise every day. And on Friday, he has his own obligations, so he's not there in the gym to coach me. So I usually just go there, I go to the elliptical trainer or to the treadmill, and then I just walk. Just get some cardio in because the rest of the days are spent on weightlifting. And I'm proud to say that my gym monthsary is going to be on November 9, so every 9th of the month. But as of today, November 4, let me get my phone again. How far along are we now? So get this, Ren. So yesterday when we had our Just Chatting stream, I was 98.6 in November 2 in the evening, 98.6 kilograms. Now I am 98 flat kilograms. Can you believe that? So in just the span of a month, I started at 100.8 kilograms, and now I am 98.0. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the weighing scale. I thought I was hallucinating, actually. So, I don't know. There's just like some miracle that's happening behind the scenes that I have no idea what's happening. But I will take what I can get. And let me just do the quick maths for everybody to make it easier. So I lost 2.8 kilograms in this past month. So if we convert that to pounds, that's gonna make it 2.8, which is 6.17 pounds. Goodness gracious. Wow. Just looking at that number is mind-boggling to me. For context, this time last year, I scared myself. My problem is that I overthink. And I had like some tests done because every year I always do a checkup. It's like part of my routine just to check if I have anything on me or if I'm still good. And then one time I had a test and it showed me that something is wrong. And in a panic, I decided to lose weight And then I did lose weight. So from 100 kilograms, I went down to my lowest at 93. And when I talked to my doctor some months later, they said, hey, you know what? That test was a mistake. You shouldn't have taken that test when you were fasting or if you did not drink water. You should have taken that test when you had enough food and water in you. And I'm like, huh? Really? So there's nothing wrong with me after all? Nope. Nothing wrong with you after all. I was relieved. I was overjoyed. And because I was so overjoyed, I overate. I didn't just celebrate with a big meal. No, I celebrated with 100 big meals. And I ballooned from 93 all the way back to 100 kilograms, baby. Yeah. You don't get to wear my size without hard work. Unfortunately, that's the bad kind of hard work. And I tried again to lose weight with the same old brisk walking and stationary biking, but it's not working, you know? And like what we mentioned earlier, things have to change. And it seems to be quoted a lot. Again, I don't know if it was Albert Einstein that said this, but like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting things to change. The reason why I say that is because if you don't know who said a quote, usually they will say it was said by Oscar Wilde or Mark Twain. Or Confucius. So anyway, something had to change. And so in October 9, I finally decided to go to the gym, and I have been pumping iron ever since. Oh, the back of my neck still hurts if I stretch. I actually did barbell squats for the very first time. And I did, how many kilos was that? 10 kilos? No, 2.5s. So 2.5 each disc. And then holy cow, I didn't even go all the way down with squats. My coach actually put a bench behind me so I can just sit down. And thank goodness for that. Because if I did not have a bench to sit down, I would probably be like an upturned turtle. And that would have been a really embarrassing thing. But we'll see what he has in store for me tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be another day, and tomorrow we're going to see what we have in store, you know? But again, I am grateful that I finally took that step. I finally decided to try and do something different, because in the end, you know, if I did not do anything, what point would there be, you know? I would still be at 100. I'd still be feeling miserable. I'd still have aches and pains in my legs and itchy legs whenever I would sit down for a long time at work. This is getting a bit too TMI, but yeah. What I'm trying to say and summarize is that I would still feel miserable. But now that I've actually taken the chance, despite all of the pain, it's worth it. You know? Thank you for noticing the progress, Ren. I appreciate it very much. And well, I may not be losing so much in terms of weight, but what makes me really happy is that now I'm finally able to fit a bit more comfortably in a couple of old jeans. I was never able to wear those jeans comfortably before, but now I'm able to fit in them a little bit better now. Sure, it's a bit tight still, but it doesn't feel like it's constricting my legs anymore. My legs can breathe. Finally. Goodness gracious. I'm so happy that, you know, to take the chance. The only thing I wish could be different is that hiring a personal trainer like my coach is expensive. It's expensive for 50 sessions. But, you know, I would like to think that I can learn things via the internet, but going back to what I mentioned earlier, that different people learn differently. I learn a lot better when I have a teacher around who is able to actually be there to notice me, to correct my form, to show me what to do, and of course to encourage me. Some people are okay if they have someone who is a bit stricter with them. if they have someone that can actually like, you know, point out the flaws and then tell them to do this or that, but it's like I don't like that. I don't want a firm hand. I want an open palm. I want someone to be able to pull me up when I'm down and then pat me on the back if I feel bad. Not necessarily coddling me though, but at least, you know, just to acknowledge that I don't really get things very quickly. I like to think that I'm intelligent, but the fact of the matter is that there are many things that I still don't know, and I acknowledge that I don't know. And if you are patient with me, then I will be very grateful to you, and my opinion of you would skyrocket. It's actually winding down a bit. We're getting into 8:30. It's already 8:28 on Friday, November 4, 2022. That time check was brought to you by DJ Serjay. DJ Serjay. Let me go ahead and indulge my fantasies of wanting to become a radio DJ. People have been telling me over the years that I should try to go to radio, but I don't like listening to music that's not fighting game music or video game music. And any new music, I'm sorry if that sounds like I'm a hipster or something, but you know, I am an old fart stuck in his old habits. So, you know, we gotta live with that. But I change. I'm trying to branch out to new kinds of music. But if you ask me what's my top 10, I would probably blank out. So we're gonna go ahead and wind down here, and we're gonna go ahead and find someone to raid. But before we do that, again, I want to thank everybody for making me a part of your day, especially on this Friday morning. Again, I hope that if you are heading out to school or to work, you go ahead and stay safe and make sure that you always come home safely as well. And maybe we can catch up on our next stream. And if you're here in the Philippines too, having your breakfast, hope you have a good meal. It's filling, it's nutritious, and it brings you energy to take you through the rest of the day. And I would like to shout out again to Sugar Dad VA and Space Buns for following me, and also to Husk for choosing to continue his subscription to me. I appreciate that very much. So we're gonna go ahead and find someone to raid, and I do want to give back to the Philippine VTuber community. So what we're gonna do, let's see who is online right now. All right, we're gonna go ahead and talk to Lily. Let's go ahead and do that. So let me go ahead and check if I got the spelling right in the name, because it can be a bit fiddly. But we're gonna go ahead and raid, and I do have my raid message there. It's a very simple message, so go ahead and just copy that, and then we'll go ahead and paste it on the chat when we start our raid. So thanks again, everybody. We do have our regularly scheduled stream on Sunday evening at 6 p.m. I'm going to be playing Dark Souls Remastered because I have something to do on Monday evening, so I'm not able to stream at that time. So I'll probably go ahead and catch you then. So I hope I brought a bit of color to your day. My name is Serjay Svek, and then you take care. Always stay safe. Bye now.